All right, let's talk about it. We're all out here creating content, right? But how many of us feel like we're really, truly breaking through the noise? Today, we're going to break down a blueprint for going from just another voice online to someone with a superhuman impact. And trust me, it's about so much more than just strategy. It's about a total shift in how you think. Does this sound familiar? You're putting in the hours, you're doing the work, but you feel like just another affiliate in this huge, crowded space. You're trying all the same cookie cutter strategies as everybody else, and you're getting the same average results. It can be so frustrating, and honestly, it just kills your inspiration, right?
This quote right here, this is the entire mindset. It's the solution. It's basically a declaration against being ordinary. The goal isn't just to keep up, it's to create something that is uniquely you, to deliver value in your own way, and to go way beyond what's considered normal.
So what's this number all about? On the surface, yeah, it's just 150. But what it really stands for is something powerful. 150 consecutive live sessions. That's showing up for 150 days in a row. No breaks, no misses. And look, the point here isn't to brag about hitting 150. It's to show you tangible proof that consistency is a learnable skill. It's a superpower that anyone can build through daily action. It creates this momentum that raw talent alone just can't compete with. And that right there is the foundation for everything else we're about to talk about. So with consistency locked in as our foundation, the next big question is, who are you? How do you build a unique identity? Well, the answer comes from a couple of brilliant pop culture stories that make this idea crystal clear.
Okay, stick with me here. In the world of Dragon Ball Z, you've got this regular human character, right? And she's taught how to fly by her friend who has superpowers. It seems impossible, but in that universe, the rules are just different. This is the perfect illustration of a core belief. In the right environment, with the right mindset, a totally average person can become superhuman.
And that's the whole philosophy right there. The goal is to create a world, a hustle-verse, where you feel absolutely limitless, where you can learn to do the things that the average person in your field would never even dream of doing. It all starts with you believing it's even possible. Now for the second lesson, which comes at this idea of purpose from the complete opposite direction. In the movie Unbreakable, the villain, Mr. Glass, spends his entire life looking for his opposite, the unbreakable hero. He's convinced that this hero has to exist to give his own life, his own identity, meaning.
This is the line he delivers when he finally finds him. And man, this contains such a massive lesson for anyone trying to build a brand or a business. By getting super clear on who you serve, the hero of your story, you in turn define your own purpose and your own role. Your identity just snaps into focus because of that contrast.
So how do we actually use this? We make it practical. We do that by building what's called a help statement. This isn't some fluffy corporate mission statement, okay? This is your entire identity boiled down into one powerful sentence. It forces you to answer those critical questions. Who is my hero? What is their biggest problem? And what transformation, what outcome can I give them? Okay, so we've got the mindset and we've got the identity. Now we need the engine to make it all work, day in and day out. This is where the whole philosophy turns into an actionable plan, a system specifically designed to get rid of all the common excuses that hold us back.
And the workflow is just beautifully simple. You start with your core identity, that help statement we just figured out. From there, the system generates a content strategy tailored just for you. Then it helps you create the actual posts, and finally, it even helps you design the visuals to go with them. It's literally a guided path from idea to execution, taking all the guesswork out of it.
And just look at this. Once you plug in your help statement, the tool can spit out a balanced, strategic content plan. And notice how it's not just about one topic. It strategically mixes different pillars, like tech, culture, success stories, and the basics, to keep your audience hooked and to show off your expertise from all these different angles. This right here ends that daily struggle of, what am I going to post today? And the help doesn't stop with just the strategy. Oh no, this is a complete content creation system. We're talking about generating hooks to grab attention, calls to action to get people to engage, and even the right hashtags so people can find you. It handles all the tedious little parts of creating content so you can focus on what really matters, delivering your message. This reminds me of a personal story from the source material about a follow-up with an orthopedic doctor after an injury. And the point was so simple. Even when you're on a personal recovery journey, you need expert guidance. You need a plan. It's the exact same thing in business. A system like this acts like your digital coach, giving you that structured plan you need to get back to 100% and then go even further. So this is the real transformation we're talking about. We're moving away from the old way, feeling confused, being inconsistent, and getting stuck with those average results, to a whole new way. A way that gives you clarity on who you are, provides systems to make sure you're consistent, and finally unlocks that superhuman potential we've been talking about. So, where do you even start this journey? Begin right here. Just take a minute and think about what makes you unique. What's that one thing that people already come to you for advice on? That natural gift, that special skill. That's the seed of your superhuman identity. The very first step is just to recognize it. And I just want to leave you with this thought. Forget about trying to make massive, overwhelming changes. What if you just committed to 10 consistent minutes every single day, but guided by a clear identity and a solid system? What could you build? Really, what could you become?
They keep telling you, stay motivated. Watch this. Listen to that. Get inspired. But what happens when the video ends? When the music fades? When nobody's clapping, watching, or waiting for you to win? What moves you then? I used to run on borrowed energy, quotes, speeches, people hyping me, yeah. Felt unstoppable for a moment, then I'd crash, like it was never in me. That's the problem with external fuel. It burn quick, don't last, don't rule. You dependent on a source outside, so when it disappears, so do you. I was chasing feelings, not building fire, waiting to feel ready instead of climbing higher. But readiness ain't a mood you catch, it's a discipline you wire. So I had to ask myself something different. If nobody ever told me keep going, would I answer that honestly? I realized purpose don't scream, it whispers. It ain't in the crowd, it's found in the mirror. It ain't an applause or validation checks. It's in what you do when there's nothing to flex. Motivation temporary, purpose permanent. One phase away, the other's inherent. You don't wake up feeling it every day, but purpose don't care how you feel anyway. It moves through you even when you're tired, even when life feel misaligned and wired. It's that quiet push you can't explain. Let's say do it again through the doubt and pain. So I stopped asking how do I feel and started asking what's real, what's mine to build, what's mine to create. That's when I found something stronger than fate. I don't need a reason, I am the reason. I am the reason. I don't need the feeling, I don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. No more waiting, no more waiting, no more chasing, no more chasing. Internal driver, that's what's leading. Yeah. Now I move like it's already decided. No hesitation, no need to be guided. I built a system inside of my soul that don't break down when I'm losing control. External noise don't shake my direction. I learned to operate without the connection. Not disconnected but self-sustained. Energy internal, never drained. I don't need hype, I don't need cheers. I done built this through blood, sweat, tears. Every rep carved into my frame. Now discipline calling me by name. This is what it looked like when purpose drive. You ain't just working, you feel alive. Even in struggle there's something deeper. You not just moving, you moving with meaning. Listen close. Purpose don't shout, it pulls. It don't beg, it demands. And once you feel it, you can't go back. There's gonna be days you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. gonna be days you question everything. Keep going anyway. Because the ones who make it ain't the most motivated. They the most committed to something deeper than motivation. That's what's leading. When the world go quiet, when the noise disappear, when nobody's watching, that's when you find out if you really got it, or if you was just borrowing it. Borrowing it.
Competency feeds confidence. Once again, competency feeds confidence. Now, over my 15-year journey, I started out, I didn't have the confidence, and it was rightfully so. It was because I didn't have the competence. Now today, 15 plus years later, I feel with 100% certainty that I know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. I've been through the struggle, I've been through the trials, I've seen what works, I've seen what has not worked for thousands. And with that knowledge, with that experience, I created something that few people will ever get the opportunity to see, but something that everybody needs to have access to. I created a masterclass where I touched on subjects that I haven't seen anybody else talk about before. Now, I want to help you in one of the toughest areas of your journey, and that's in building the confidence. But in order to build that confidence, once again, you have to build that competency. And in order to do that, you're going to have to learn some essential skills. And I want to introduce you to these skills that you need. Now, when you learn these skills, you'll realize that they are universal. And when you have something that's universal, and you see that you can apply them to just about anything in your life, and when you start applying them to these various things in your life, not just your online business, but your overall life, and you start seeing positive results, you'll start to have more confidence. So I can almost guarantee you that in my masterclass, if you're able to sit long enough to ingest the information that I have to share with you, to take action on that same information, I can almost guarantee you that you're going to send me back a message telling me, yes, you were right. Now, if we can agree on that, I want you to just say yes. Comment yes. And if you make that simple comment, I'll send you access to my exclusive masterclass to help you on your journey. And I promise you, it will be something unlike anything that you've ever seen before. Because I've seen the majority of what's out there, and I know that either they can't or they won't share with you what it is that I've shared with you in this masterclass. So I look forward to seeing you on the inside, gaining that competency so that you can have the confidence to change your life for the better. See you on the inside.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepared was made just for you. keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is Strong 48, day 1, and we are right at 16 minutes into today's challenge. And I'm coming off of a very, very exciting weekend. And I come back to you guys re-energized, refocused, with a clearer perspective. That intro video, that music video, one of the most inspirational, motivational songs that not only have I ever created, but one of the most inspirational and motivational songs I believe ever created, whether a human did it or AI. Now, that might be controversial. For some people, that's a controversial topic. Humans versus the AI. But you know something? I don't care. I don't care about the controversy. I don't care what anyone thinks about that possible controversial statement. I stand by it. Well, I stand by my work. I'm not vouching for everybody else's work. I won't do that. Now, I will say that that song, when I created it, is based off of my life. It's based off of my content. So the AI assisted me with the construction of that song, but the AI drew from me personally. It was my experiences, my coachings, my mentoring, my trainings, my lives, the things that I've shared with it, the conversations, those personal tidbits, those things about our industry, about the personal struggle of, building an online business. Something that, I personally mentioned to you in that training, in that little short training. I'm gonna call that a little training from me personally, talking about how competency builds confidence. So I had to go through all of these stages, and those stages is what brought me here today. Now, as we move through, this journey, we're now at strong 48, 48 weeks of consistency. And we come back to, you know, our consistent document. It hasn't failed us yet. It hasn't failed me yet. If it wasn't for this document, I wouldn't have this powerful song to be able to share with you. I wouldn't have these powerful messages for 48 strong weeks to share with you. So the journey is real, and the journey can yield positive results if you're willing to go on a journey. Now, as with all journeys, there's usually different stages, there's different legs of the journey or legs of the race if you're running a race, so to speak, right? So if you go on a vacation, on a trip, you know, the beginning part of the journey might be, you packing your bags. You getting everything ready so that you can go on this trip. So you have to sort everything out. You have to look at what is it that you actually need to take with you and the things that you don't necessarily need to take with you. Some things you see and you might want to take with you, but they're not necessities. So you have to learn what to be able to give up, what to be able to put down, what's not important. And that's what your online journey resembles also. A lot of us, we want to carry everything that we have with us. We want to carry everything from the real world to the online world. And we think that everything is transferable, that everything can go with us on the journey. But that's not the case. Everything's not allowed. So you also have to develop your own sense of, you know, like a TSA. You have to create that TSA, you know, baggage checker in your mind. You have to understand that there's going to be things that you have to put down, and there's going to be some things that's going to be allowed from one stage to another. Yeah, you might pack some things, and then you go outside, you start the next leg of your journey, you get into your car, now you have to drive to the airport. Yeah, everything's cool. The things with you in that car is cool. You needed some food, you needed some snacks and everything like that. You know, you have a long drive. Okay, cool. But once when you get to that airport, you know the rules start to change. You can't bring everything from that car into that airport. You have to start thinking like that. You have to start putting things in its rightful place and starting to, you know, sort and sift through what it is that you need in order to get you through the journey. So that TSA baggage checker in your mind. You know before you reach that airport what it is that might be allowed and what's not allowed. So you leave that. You leave that in a safe place or you discard it altogether. Now, in your online journey, a lot of things are going to be things that you need to discard completely, meaning that you never want to return to those things ever again. So there's three things that come to mind. And it goes back to a training that I created some years ago. A three-part, matter of fact, a four-part series training that I created titled The Biggest Threat to the Entrepreneur. And three of those things are something that you're going to have to give up in order to, you know, advance in your journey. The first one is procrastination. You have to stop procrastinating. You have to stop putting things off. You have to stop looking at an opportunity and saying to yourself, you know, I'm going to pick that up later on. I'm going to take advantage of that tomorrow. Give me another week. You know, giving yourself another week can actually make you weak. It's going to break your spirit. It's going to break your confidence. It's going to break your will to actually get that thing started. So procrastination is something that you're going to have to put down and you're going to have to leave that outside of your bag. That part of your baggage, you're going to have to drop that in order to become successful, right? So the next thing is you're going to have to drop being indecisive. So indecision is something that a lot of people struggle with. Even though they might be in a situation where they don't like their current situation, they still struggle with deciding, do I go on this new journey or do I stay right here? Some people, they have the opportunity to go on an amazing journey, an amazing vacation, or they can stay home, you know, and they have to make that decision and they become indecisive. They start thinking about all kinds of stuff. They start thinking about the journey itself. Man, what, in order to go on this trip, I'm gonna have to pack. Okay, well, I don't have everything with me. So in order to go on this vacation, I'm gonna have to go shopping. I'm gonna have to buy some vacation wear. Then they make up all of these excuses in their mind as to why the vacation or that particular journey isn't feasible. Oh, it's going to cost too much money. Flight itself is expensive. You know, gas prices is up. Fuel costs is up. Spirit Airlines just shut down, so I'm not going to be able to get a cheap flight, right? So that's enough of an excuse to make you indecisive. Well, I could just stay home and, enjoy my week at home instead of taking this vacation. So that's part of the baggage that you're going to have to drop off, being indecisive. The third part is skepticism. A lot of people are skeptical about everything. Everything. They're skeptical about, crossing the street. They see the light turn green on one side and they know that, traffic is coming in one direction, but they also know that traffic is stopped in another direction. But they still hesitate to cross the street. Now, there's nothing wrong with being cautious. Even though the light is red, you still want to look both ways because some people don't know how to drive. Some people aren't paying attention to that red light. But being skeptical means that you're looking both ways and you're seeing nothing coming, but you still hesitate to put your foot down in that crosswalk section to start crossing the street. The light is red, there's no cars coming, but you still stop and you think something's going to happen. You're worried. So those are the three things that you need to put down in order to make it through your journey. That's the baggage. Now, the things that you need to pick up is what we mentioned in the beginning intro. You need to pick up the competency so that you can become more confident. And the more confident you become internally, the more confident you'll be able to be externally. So that internal driver is that confidence. And as you saw in that powerful video, you know, there's a lot of things, man, that's besides the music, you know, we don't stop at just providing the lyrical, the sound, so that you can hear the inspiration and the motivation and get going. But I wanted to provide some visuals that accompanied that. So with that, the song is about the internal driver that's leading a person. And throughout our character's journey, they had to go through a process. He started off where he was at his home, getting ready for a major presentation that he had to do. And he was worried. He was a little skeptical. He was procrastinating, right? That showed when he was sitting in the bed. He was sitting up in the bed, almost fully dressed. You know, he was a little skeptical. He was a little indecisive. Do I get up? Do I lay back down? And what did he do? He laid back down. He laid down and he reflected for a little bit. That was that time frame of, talking it over, being a little skeptical in his mind, thinking, man, I got a major presentation today. I got to deliver. What if they don't like what I have to say? What if something goes wrong? What if I slip and say the wrong thing? And next thing, he was right back up. He's in the mirror. He's adjusting his shirt and his tie. He's speaking to himself. Sort of frame he was talking to himself. He was telling himself that he had the confidence that he got this. And that's what you have to do. Now, he was able to tell himself that he got this because, as you saw, he was doing the work. He was on his laptop. He was creating the content. He was doing the research. He was putting in the work. He was doing everything necessary in order to make himself competent. So, I often talk to people about what it is that they get involved with, the things that they like and they love, right? Or even just simply the content that they ingest. And I asked them, what is it that you really got from that? Or even better yet, I talk to people about music, and specifically when it comes to hip hop and like R&B and stuff like that, right? And some of the nicest people, they enjoy some of the most rawest content. They enjoy action packed, shoot 'em up, this, that, and the third type of content, right? But they're not that type of person, really. They like to watch it, but they're not the type of people to actually engage with that type of activity. I know a lot of people that listen to a lot of gangster rap, and it talks about a lot of different things, but then to know them, that's not in their character. That's not what they truly represent. And I ask people, well, what is it about that that you really like? Some people say, some people that, really like it like that. Some people say, hey, I can relate to that particular situation. I've been through this, I've been through that. And that's what has attracted me to that particular content. So, me personally, that's why I create the type of content I create. I can only do what I can do. And I only want to provide to you the truth. I only want to provide to you the things that I know best about. So when you see something from me, it's based off of, once again, my personal truth, the things that I've been through, if not the things that I've personally been through, the things that I've witnessed, the things that I've learned from. And sometimes just being a witness to something is, the best type of experience you could possibly get. You don't want to get any better than that. You don't want to be the person that's involved in the particular action in order to know that's not the type of action that I want to engage in. So I always encourage people to be aware of what they consume and get a lesson from what they consume. And I find that, a lot of people, this this is helpful in your online business. A lot of people don't pay attention to what's really important. A lot of people might hear a song and say, "Oh, that's a nice beat," and that's all they catch is the beat. Some people might hear a song and say, "Man, I like those lyrics." They like the lyrics, but they don't catch the beat. Some people might say, "Hey, I like both of those," and then they watch the music video and they zone out. They close their eyes. They're not even looking at the video itself, so they don't catch the subliminal meanings. Some people go to the movies and they watch movies that are heavily laid out with, messages. And then by the end of the movie, you ask them, well, what did you like best? And they say, well, hey, it was action packed. I like the way, they did this, that, and the third. And then you ask them the question, well, did you truly understand what they were talking about when during this section here, during this part of the movie, during that? And they completely they completely missed out on what's kind of really valuable. See, I don't want to put in your mind what is really valuable versus what you feel might be valuable. The action and all those action scene stuff that might be valuable to you, and I'll let you have that. That's what you went to the movie to see, was the action, and you just wanted to see the explosions, blah blah blah. That's cool. But the dialogue and everything else that went into it is equally as important to some people, to different people. And depending on how you interpret things, will be the way that you'll be able to, use those things that you see in order to create something of your own. So hopefully you was watching that video, that music video, because it was very powerful. And if you didn't catch the messages, if you didn't hear the lyrics, if you didn't hear the beat, if you didn't watch the visuals, then don't worry. I'm going to play it again for you tomorrow so that maybe what you missed today, you'll pick up on tomorrow and you'll be able to better appreciate it. And that right there goes into the deeper message, the deeper lesson. Just like it said in that beginning training, right? The idea of needing a coach and a mentor, needing someone to guide you. Now, it's not just that the person tells you something one time and then it's all set. Most times, just like with your customer, in order to sell a product or service, it won't take just one interaction. It take multiple interactions. And the old rule was that it usually takes about 7 points of contact, 7 different interactions with the same person in order to have them make a decision. It might not even be a buying decision. It might just be a decision just to, you know, click on a link that you shared with them, to join a free training, to actually take the next step in the journey. You might need to, if you want to go on a vacation, you might need to see the advertisement on TV, the cruise ship advertisement, which nowadays, depending on when you're watching this, we live right now, so we know what's going on in the world. And I think some people might have fallen back from the idea of going on a cruise ship right now, right? Well, if you've been watching the news or if you follow up with things like that, then you know that that virus was on that was on that cruise ship, and it, you know, that virus was kind of deadly. So a lot of people might be like, I'm gonna stay away from cruise ships. I might I might go to a resort, but I'm not gonna take a cruise. You know, maybe a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago, you know, you're looking at the news, you see plane crashes, things like that. You might be like, well, I'm not getting on the plane, but I might take a road trip. You know, you might pay attention to the news lately and might not even have to pay attention to the news. You go to work on a daily basis, you go get gas and you notice, hey, gas prices has risen over 35%. Hmm. Well, I want to take a vacation, but I'm not taking a long road trip. That gas is going to cost me blah blah blah. But it's things that you pay attention to and you have to learn from. So today, I didn't want to keep you guys too long. I just wanted to give you a point of reference. And the one thing that I like about this journey that I'm on is that usually there's some detours. Now, I didn't intend on talking to you guys about what I was just talking to you about, but often the the spirit, I guess, so to speak, moves me to talk to you about specific things in more depth. But I want to pull up, as usual, one of my favorite tools, right? And that's the new tab tool, right? Just to see what's going on in the world. And as I was letting this, scroll through earlier, I'm looking at the different stories, and man, I didn't see this one. It looks it's a list of things going on. I didn't see this one right here today, but I already anticipated it. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. Let's not let that slip by you. Let's not let that be like the music video where you might have missed an important scene and didn't pay attention to it, and then once when the scene is over, you're looking at the next one and you completely missed out, right? So look at this right here. This headline. This is powerful. This says a lot. So a few days ago, I was looking at a story and it talked about Cloudflare. Cloudflare recently did some layoffs. Forget the number of people that they laid off, but it was over 1,000. It might have been a few thousand. So Cloudflare laid off a few people. And now, what do you know? 13 hours ago, updated. It says Cloudflare stock tumbles 24% after AI driven layoffs. Okay. So this isn't in any way. financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't play one on TV. I'm just the type of person that looks at information and I make my informed decision based off of information, right? And this right here is very helpful information for a person that might really be into trading on the stock market. So if there's any stock market traders listening, this might be helpful to you. This might help add some insight to your daily activities, and this might help you. This might help you make a 24% decision, right? Don't procrastinate. Don't be indecisive. Don't be skeptical. Even when you see the light is red, right? You see the light is red. We just read the red light. We just read the indicator that says for you to stop, right? And pay attention. Don't still look and act like you didn't see it, and start acting weird. It says right here, Cloudflare stock tumbles 24% after AI driven layoffs. So what does that mean? Well, it means something that moves in the direction of human nature, the idea of human nature. Now, in your marketing journey, that's one of the biggest, keys to your success. Understanding human nature, understanding the human mindset, right? Now, reading that headline instantly takes me back to, what was it, about a month ago when Anthropic was going through the issue with the government. And Anthropic decided that they weren't going to partner with the government, right? And what happened? People looked at it as Anthropic was taking a stance. They were taking a stance and they weren't, you know, being government puppets or whatever you want to look at it as. And what happened? Their stock actually went up. Their stock went up because people looked at them as, the good guys. Often people look at their own personal governments as being the bad guys. So if you're against the bad guys, then in my mind, that makes you a good guy. So this instantly takes me back to that. And once again, it boils down to human nature. What moves human beings to take action, right? To make decisions. So in that case there, Anthropic was looked at as the hero. Claude started to become even more widely used. And as we saw, time goes on, you start hearing more and more about Claude. They start getting more updates. They start doing this, that, and the third. All of a sudden, Claude is like number one. And then, you know, OpenAI, they made the decision to do business with the government. And what happened? A similar case, right? They were looked at as the bad guy. You do business with somebody that I look at as being the bad guy, that makes you the bad guy. So what happened? People started canceling their subscriptions. The value of that particular company started to go down, right? So this right here, AI driven layoffs, a key indicator. What does that mean? Well, what that means is that human nature is saying that, kind of what I was saying in the beginning, right? About the music, about how I feel as though that song is one of the most inspirational, motivational songs ever, whether it was human made or AI. And I said how some people might feel a certain way about it. Now, I didn't see this article right here, but it's funny how things tie into each other, right? It's funny how things feed off of each other and things move. So there's a battle between humans and AI. No, not AI robots. There's no wars out there where humans are out there fighting AI robots and you picking sides. No, it's real physical humans, and it's this digital space, this program, this platform called AI, these tools called AI that humans are battling. And obviously, human nature says they want humans to survive. They want humans to win the war. So when something like this happens, AI driven layoffs, a company decides to lay their human employees off in order to make room for AI driven solutions. People get upset. Values of companies will drop like Cloudflare. So if you're an investor, what might this say to you? Well, in my logical way of looking at things, it would say, okay, I want to, do some research on some companies. Who are the companies that's planning on doing some layoffs based off of AI? Who are these companies that's making announcements that, hey, we're using AI to do this, that, and the third? Because once when they start talking about they're going to use AI to do something, then that means that they're going to be using AI to replace real humans in some capacity. So they might announce that they're doing something today, which I want you guys to test this out. Who made an announcement just a week ago or more that they were going to use AI to start helping people decide on what beverages they want to pick from? Wasn't that, Starbucks? Hmm. Starbucks was developing an app to, help people make decisions on what type of products to drink based on their mood. So what that means is I know there was previously some humans behind doing research on, what makes a person tick, what type of drinks and beverages to create. Those might have been product development people, right? Right? Might be somewhat like that. They still need the people to mix the drinks up and stuff like that, taste testers and stuff like that, but they might not need someone to actually, do the research as far as thinking about what it is that a human might want to do because now they have an app. So, will they announce layoffs? I'm not saying that, Starbucks is going to start announcing layoffs for specific, positions, but what I am saying is that positions that were once made for humans will not be needed by that particular company. And sooner or later, they're gonna say, "Hey, well, we this right here is either a good idea or a bad idea with the AI stuff, right? This app itself is helping us increase sales, and we no longer need our old team that was helping decide what type of drinks to make because the AI has figured it out." Or they might say, "Hey, we're going to expand and we're going to build more Starbucks and we're going to need some more humans to, work at these new Starbucks in order to serve this mass amount of people that we're going to have due to AI helping us grow." So give and take. But which way do you think it's going to go? I believe there was a story of Amazon. Of course, we know Amazon is always into, product development and using AI. And of course, Amazon and Meta, they already announced some layoffs, AI driven layoffs. So, what might happen to their particular stock? Hmm. Well, looking at this, a company like Cloudflare, you might not be too familiar with Cloudflare. It might not be a popular name, but it's one of those type of companies that do a lot, but you don't know really what they do. But they're basically they're in a lot of things that you probably currently use. And let me just click on this article because I didn't even look at this article, like I said, right? So there it is. Massive job cuts. Cloudflare is laying off 1,100 employees, or 20% of its workforce, to accelerate its AI first transformation. So it's not a huge company, right? 20%, 1,100 employees. So that means that, the company size is like 5,500 employees. That's not a lot at all. So it's not like, hey, this company is employing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, right? But it does show a sign. If they're able to eliminate 20% of its workforce due to, being more AI driven, then numbers are numbers. They're transferable, right? They're transferable. There's other companies out there like Cloudflare. There's other companies that do tech stuff. And if they can save or eliminate 20% of their staff also, that could be, once again, 1,100 employees. That could be 10,000 or 11,000 employees. That could be 111,000 employees. You know, numbers are numbers. And being able to be AI driven, helping someone, shed a workforce, could be detrimental to a company's stock. So if I was investing in this particular company and I heard, you know, that even though, look at here what it says: investor backlash. Despite strong Q1 sales, shares fell 24% as markets questioned the risk of replacing human roles with AI. So the company itself was doing good. They were doing good. They had good results in quarter 1, but a company's job or a corporation's job isn't just to do good, it's to get better and better and better. It's not enough to say, hey, we had a good, strong quarter. It's about the journey, the overall journey, just like how you have to look at your journey. The first leg of the race, of the journey, of the vacation, packing that bag, cool. I got through that. I sorted everything out. I got what I need to take in my bag. Let's move on. Now it's time to get in the car, drive to the airport or whatever. Traffic on the road, another challenge, Okay, you get through that. Let's move on. Get to the airport, you do your thing. It's stages, but you always want the next stage to be better and smoother as you go along. So, this right here is a great indicator of human nature. So, if I was an investor in any particular company, I've just learned now from this example that there's a chance that I can lose 24% of the of my wealth, so to speak, right? I can lose 24% of the value of my investment because I know for a fact that everybody wants to get better results. And the majority of companies are looking to do that with AI. So if I'm in my company or if I'm researching the company and I see, hey, they start talking about we're researching this we've created this new AI tool, or they just started using Claude and they found this, that, and the third. It might be time to sell some stocks before they implement these things, before they actually announce them, before a vast amount of people hear about it, because boom, that stock could soon plummet and those shares could be worth possibly 24% less than what it was the day after the announcement. So it also says here AI usage surge. Internal AI activity jumped 600% in 3 months, with 97% of engineers now using AI coding tools. Yeah, okay. So all of those people, I think about my brother. One of my brothers, man, he went to school. He knows coding. He, he can do it. He went to school. He paid the price. He did the studying. I think about people like that when, before AI came around, you know, he was the man. He still is. He does his thing. But before AI coding came around, it wasn't too many people that could do what he does, and he knew it. He considered himself to be on top of the world, and people that was in his field being on top of the world, being able to charge tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to create applications. Now AI tools can create what he can create. But I know a lot of, programmers, they'll still say, hey, well, the AI, it can create you something basic. It can create you something basic, but you still need a real person that knows programming. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that's what they saying. But they're saying that out of, they want to believe it, but the fear is real. The fear is real. The threat is real. The threat is real. They they can't escape the fact that is kind of like, you know, old school radios. Everybody thought, hey, this radio thing, man, it's gonna last forever. You can listen to sports on the radio. All you had to do is just you can hear the ball game. You had to be a little bit more imaginative to kind of see it and picture it in your head as to what was actually going on. But then the TV came out. The TV came out. Now you get to watch it on TV. Like, hmm, who really needs to? Who needs the radio? Not for those purposes, right? You had to change the whole purpose of the radio. You had to give the radio something else in order for it to regain its value. That's a whole other topic. That's a whole other story, but that's something worth noting. When something loses its value from what it's known to be good for and something else replaces it, then the only thing is two options for that thing. It either fades away and disappears, or it reinvents itself and becomes valuable in another way. So hopefully 97% of these engineers who are now using AI coding tools, they're using the tools. So they reinvented themselves by learning how to actually use the tools. Before, an engineer or a programmer, they might have been great at just, writing code. Now they have to develop a whole new skill, which is what we talk about, right? Communication, being able to talk to the AI and explain to the AI what it is that they want it to help it with. And that might be a challenge for a lot of engineers. Something they used to say that you would never put a IT guy in front of a room for a corporate presentation. IT people, they stay in the back. They work on the computers and stuff like that, and that's it. They put it out in movies and TV shows and stuff. They always make the IT person look a little or sound a little weird, right? They lack communication skills. Or if you ask them to explain something, they start rambling on about, you know, you know, uh, you know, using that lingo, using high level tech language that people can't understand, and then everybody's just looking like, well, what did they say? And then somebody else has to deliver the message. Think about that. That's real for a lot of cases. That's not something that's completely made up. That's not just a made up stereotype. But they didn't have to communicate. They didn't have to do the presentation. All they had to do was write the code. and be able to produce the tools and let somebody else do the presentation. But now, these engineers with AI being able to write the code, now these engineers, if they want to still stay alive in this industry of coding and building tools, they're going to have to learn how to communicate better with AI. So it's always a message. There's always another scene in the video, so to speak, that you can't just bypass. You can't just look at one clip and say, "Oh wow, I see what happened there. I see him typing on the laptop. I see him learning and doing stuff," and then you miss the whole other section of him, doing the presentation, and then you miss the whole other aspect of it, that he got the internal driver, he got the confidence because he got the competence, right? He did the presentation, the people applauded, right? In the music video, the people applauded, they clapped for him. They realized that, yeah, he's the right person for it, and he realized that, yeah, all my preparation, everything that I've been through, now I have the confidence. And how did that confidence show? He had the internal driver, which is the confidence, and it exuded from him. He started to glow, kind of like the last dragon, Bruce Leroy, if you're familiar with that. If you're not, then you might not be my target audience, right? But for the people that know the last dragon, Bruce Leroy, when he got that glow, when he got that confidence, and sure enough, realized that he's not the man anymore, and that Bruce Leroy is now the man. He got the power of the glow. Wow, symbolism, right? Symbolism is something, but it's all around us. You just have to pay attention. And the things that you think don't apply to your situation, more than likely they do. And more than likely you can use them to your benefit to help you make a better decision and build a better business. So before we close out today, because I didn't even get into everything that I wanted to, but I look at the time, it's 10:03 a.m., and I don't want to keep you too long. We'll save some. I always got more to give, but we're going to save some. But just thinking about, you know, building a competency and using tools and, reinventing yourself, making yourself valuable so that, you have the competency, then you have the confidence, right? So I reinvent myself often, but I don't leave behind the old tools. So we talk about the radio. Yeah, you know, your old tools might be like the radio. Just because it's an old tool, don't think that it's not useful. Don't just put it down in the corner and leave it alone. The TV at this point, right? For just watching television purposes, it was an old tool, right? The big back went to the flat screen. Then people started watching more stuff on the cell phones, and then thought that, hey, the TV, that might go the way of the radio, right? No, then we got into streaming services. Okay, we right back into the TV. We got the streaming services on the TV now. You can watch it on your phone too, but hey, we still like the big screen. Cool. So you still got to remain with your old tools and the things that brought you to the table, and find out how can you reinvent it, and how can you add on to it, and how can you build something. So reinvent yourself like that. Think about how can you make yourself better. So me myself, I think about all of the skills that I have. I never put I never put those things to rest. Being able to research, being able to communicate, being able to do this, that, and the third. I don't say, hey, well, AI is here now, so I'm just going to leave those old skills and tools alone. No, we continue on. So there's one thing that I want to talk to you guys about before we close out, and I want to give you something special just for staying with me. So if you're here watching live, I want you to put a one in the comment section. If you're watching on a replay, I want you to put a 2 in the comment section so that I know who you are. And just for staying with me all this time, I want to share with you something that I created with my own knowledge, my own research. I'm not a programmer, but I know how to communicate with the AI. It's something that I've learned how to do. And I'm gonna just be petty for a second. I thought about it beforehand if I was going to be a little petty, and I said, forget it. I got to be. I got to be. Because, I hear people talk about other people like how they're the best at this, that, and the third, this person's the best at AI and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yeah, okay, they cool. They okay, but uh, you know, uh, what have they done? I ain't seen them make nothing, or what they made is okay, but you know, you claim they're the best at it for your own personal reasons, for your own personal goals or whatever. But then, I either get the work or I reflect back on some work that I've already started creating. And I'm like, well, they might never put you in the spotlight. They might never look at you as being the best in the world at what you do, but it's not on them to see it. It's on your community to see it, and for your community to realize it and hold you up as being the best. So, that's what I do it for. I do it for my personal satisfaction and I do it for my personal community. But this is what I created. I created the Hustleverse Cinematic Director. So now, that music video was an example of what I talked to you guys about, the movie studio mindset. My mind is thinking on a whole other level. I'm not just, thinking about content creation for the purposes of, making a simple post and things like that. You know, I let the average person think on that level. They just want to, create a poster for their business, things like that. Nah, I want to do more. I've always had a dream and a vision for what I wanted to do, and just like those old tools, those old dreams, you know, I found a way that I can reinvent them and reuse them. Things I used to dream about as a kid, now I realize they're possible. I used to have dreams about, different type of scenarios, different type of movies, creating movies in my mind. And now I have the ability to literally do that. I can create my own stories. And I want to help you guys. I want to help you if you are interested in getting deeper into content creation, becoming a real expert in using AI tools to create content. Not like what anybody else tell you, somebody, hey, they're the best at using AI, the best in AI, but they just surface level. No, I want to go deep. Pause. I want to take you to a whole nother level that nobody else is going to take you. And I want to help you by sharing with you this very valuable tool. Now, this one right here that I created for you is going to help you do a few different things. So, if you're not good at communicating with the AI, which face it, 90+% of the people today, they're not experts at communication. They can't communicate with humans and get their point across too great. So, they struggle with communicating with AI in order to get their vision, conveyed. So I want to help you with that. So if you're interested in creating pictures, videos, and you struggle with, well, what type of concept, what type of camera angles, what type of, you know, visuals do I actually want? And you need some help, you need assistance, you need something to help you create and craft the best possible prompt in order to get the results that you see in your mind. I want to share with you this amazing tool right here. Once again, the Hustleverse cinematic director. And for the people that's watching, if you comment hmm, director, yeah, comment director or comment create, whichever one you want to comment. I'm going to send you exclusive free access to this tool so that you can use it and you'll be able to create, your images for whatever you want to create. If you're creating a story or if you're just creating a simple post and you just need some visuals for that, and you just, you have an issue with prompting, I want to help you out with that. So we're going to do a little test. And as you can see right here, we got some presets. So, I had to have it give you some examples because you might not know exactly right off top. And of course, I'm going to be updating this tool as we go along. So of course, you're going to be some of the first testers. And I want to get your feedback. Let me know what you like about it, what can be improved. And that's what we do. We get to work and we start improving things. But for this right here, let me just click on hip hop video. So we want to do a test, and we're going to keep it on the widescreen. We have widescreen or vertical for like reels. And of course, the tool itself, I'm constantly updating it. So if there's some glitches or something like that, that's cool. I don't care because it is what it is. We work with what we have and then we build and we make it better. And that's what being a part of any system, being a part of any business, that's what it requires and it involves you actually working with it, finding out how can you bring value to the product or service so that you can promote it to the people that you want to promote it to, and moving forward and making it better. So in this particular case right here, of course, I've been using my tool myself. So it's a couple of things. There's a few different, features of this right here. You have the ability to create your own character. So if you have a design for a particular character in your mind, you can use, one of our sections at the top called the character forge, and you can create your own character, or you can just add a character from here, just construct it in your own mind. But we got our hustle bear style character, we got our hustle berry. We created some other characters here, and if I want to use them in my particular prompt so that it knows, the type of person that I'm going for, we can click on them. So let's say Kai. So we got Kai, and if we have a reference photo, you have something already in mind, you can upload your reference photo, up close portrait. And as it says right here, upload the reference photos. AI will analyze and extract visual details for the prompt. So once again, you have an idea in your mind, you don't know how to explain it or express it to the AI. You can, if you have a picture, just upload the picture and the AI will go through recognizing it and identifying what's in the picture, right? So we already have our preset for one of our characters, right? But let's say if we wanted to, you know, add another character. So this is like an example of what they would ask you about. So, hey, the character's name, gender, age range, skin tone, face structure, hairstyle, clothing, all the things that you want to have in your particular description of your character. But that may not be something that you think about right off top. A lot of people, they'll do simple prompts like, hey, create me a black man bodybuilder type and whatever, and just keep it basic. So you can have one character in the scene, or you can add a second character, so on and so forth. We're just going to leave it at one. We're going to hit that continue. And now since this is our, scene tool, you want to also pick a location. So since I already clicked the preset for hip hop scene, it's giving me some, location suggestions already. So urban basketball court, luxury penthouse, or city block. So you can change that up, but this gives you an example. Hey, you want to say, hey, luxury penthouse, Let me just delete this back here. You're going to leave it at a luxury penthouse. Time of day. A lot of people, they might not even think about this. Hey, I want a picture of this, that, and the third. But what time of day do you want it to look like? Okay, late evening or night with strong artificial lighting. Okay, you didn't think about the lighting in your prompt, right? So high contrast studio style lighting. And if you're not a photographer, if you're not a videographer, you might not know of any of these terms, right? This is like the IT guy right here talking to you, and they're telling you all these different things, and you're like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Like, I don't know what graffiti art is. Depending on who you are, you might not know what graffiti art is. It sounds good to me, IT guy. Just you know, do your job. Do whatever you think will work. Some people get to the point where they tell the IT person, hey, I trust your judgment. You don't really trust that person's judgment, but you just don't have the capacity to explain what it is that you really want. You don't know. You don't know what you don't know, and you don't want to be exposed as a person that doesn't know how to communicate with this person. Okay, crowd behavior. Is this an empty scene with just this one character, or is it an energetic group in background reacting to main subject? Okay, if you want to change that, change that. Okay, spatial layout. Okay, what does that mean? So dynamic foreground, subject with active background depth. Okay, do you want him standing up close, close range, and you know, like a desert scene in the background? Do you want it to seem like it's a deep depth, or is it like a shallow field? Like it's just a room, a small room with nothing off in the distance, right? About environment, evolution. Is it raining? Is there any signs? What's going on back there, right? So these are all things that you might want to consider. Okay, entrance. What type of scene is this? Is this somebody entering in somewhere? Is this somebody uh something being revealed? An existing subject becomes important? Is this an interaction, movement, transformation? What is it? What is it about this scene? And then right here, describe what's happening. Okay, so we know we picked the hip hop scene, right? So uh Fry is performing uh, in front of a project, in front of a, because we already said, right, we want it to be a luxury mansion, right? So don't, you know, keep with what you what you going with, right? In front of a large group of excited fans. All right. Oh, expand that out however you want to describe it, right? Describe what happens. Be a little detailed. But for these purposes, we're going to keep it simple, right? All right. So now we want to fine tune it, visual effects and lighting. All right. So do you want a cinematic zoom, pan reveal, glitch effect, claymation style? Different things that might, you know, make this stand out. Then we got light and evolution, things like that. Okay, okay. So let's just click on cinematic zoom. And is there going to be any blur? So heavy blur on rapid movements. Okay. So now I want you to keep this in mind. This is a photo, right? This is a photo, it's not a video. So you can keep these type of elements in there. Heavy blur on rapid movements. I'm gonna leave that there, right? So atmosphere and particles, smoke machine, haze, occasional confetti or sparks. We're gonna leave that, right? We're gonna leave that, and then we're gonna go to generate prompt. Now, if all goes well, it'll generate a prompt for me, right? And not only will it generate a prompt, I also wanted it to create variations for you. So you might you might read that first prompt and say, okay, well, I like a lot of these elements here. And once again, you not being a photographer, you might not know of what a Canon EOS R5. You might not know what that does, or aperture set to f/1.2. I'm like, what is this? What is this? Or bokeh effect. What is this stuff? Man, I just come on, IT guy. No, just create me a picture, man. So you can click copy from right there, or you can drag and right click copy. And if you like this one, or you can look at the variations and say, hey, I want to apply to the final. So I can hit this apply and it will change up the final prompt and add these details in it throughout the prompt to make it, fit in. So now we want to get to the tools. So I use two tools. There's, my favorite tools ever. They're unlimited AI content creation tools. I use them on a daily basis. And before I close out with you guys, I'm gonna show you guys a new music video, a cinematic one, right? So just stick with me. Stick with me so that you can see the power of what we have. So we have a couple of options. We can go with our one of our favorite tools, which is Artistly 6.0. And Artistly 6.0, in a matter of, some time, I don't know when exactly, but it's going to get a update. So it'll be at version 7, which right now it's absolutely amazing at what it can do right now. But we're going to click on just one of these options right here. So I'm just going to click on the photo realism, right? And I'm going to paste in that particular prompt. I ask it to make 4 variations for me. And I'm going to change the aspect ratio. You see all of these aspect ratios, either 16.9 or 9:16 is what I prefer, right? So since we had the tool already set to a 16.9, right? Let me create the photos in that style, in that size. So now that we have that right there, right? So this is doing this thing right here. Or or we can go to our favorite tool that's just been updated, our favorite video creation tool, Video Express 3. And even though that was just a picture prompt, we have a few options here. We can just go straight here, create video from prompt, which will first allow me to create the picture and then turn that picture into a video. Or I can go right here simply to text to video and just turn that prompt directly into a video. So for all intents and purposes for this right here, I want to do this. I'm going to select photo, realistic, cinematic. I don't want to enhance my prompt. I want to give it the exact same prompt that my tool gave me, right? And then I want to change the aspect ratio. Right now it's set to the 9:16. I want to set it to 16:9, right? Now I want to ask it to create the image. And as it's doing that, let me go back over to Artistly. I want to refresh because I know it's done its thing. Now, the one thing about Artistly is this. Artistly is a dedicated tool for creating pictures. Now, this is what Artistly does. It creates cinematic pictures, or it creates all different types of, pictures and styles and all types of things, right? So expect Artistly to be the master at what it does, and expect Video Express to be the master at what it does. So look at these pictures. Looks pretty consistent, right? Look at the character, Kai. Pretty consistent looking character. Look at the scene. He's out there, got the crowd behind him, got the crowd there, crowd. Even got some cars. Look like got some Lambos right there. Now let's go to Video Express and let's see what it produced. Okay, it's pretty damn good. So we got Kai, and look at him. Did the tool do a pretty good job describing him? He looked pretty much the same here as he does in Video Express, right? That shows consistency. That shows that the prompt itself is so good that no matter either tool we use, it recognizes. So the prompt, it shows that the tool itself to create the prompt is pretty on point. So now I wanted to put the same, I'm gonna put the same prompt in here in the video and audio prompt section, right? Even though this isn't a video scene prompt, it's not a prompt for a video, we still just gonna put it there. Or I didn't even have to put it there. I could just left that blank and just press create video. But just for all intents and purposes, let's create video. And I always like to do two versions just in case, because the AI isn't perfect. So don't expect AI to be perfect. But the great thing about having a tool like this, which is unlimited, you didn't see anything that said anything about, oh, this is going to use 2,000 credits. This is going to use 3,000 credits. No, we don't use credits with this particular tool. Meaning, if I want to create a 5-minute music video, I can do that without having to worry about running out of credits or waiting to the next month to pay my next monthly subscription, because this right here doesn't have monthly subscriptions. This is a lifetime product. You purchase it one time, which I bought this over a year ago, and you get lifetime updates. You don't pay again. I haven't had to pay for it again. I've created all of my videos with this, so it's paid for itself. So I got this right here. The video is generating. Or if I say, hey, just by chance, if I didn't like that particular picture that it produced, I could go over here to, import media. And since this is made by the same company, I could click here, import from Artistly, and there's the 4 pictures of Kai that was created in Artistly. And I can just import them there. And then, you know, after I import them, all I would have to do is go back here, click on use from my library, and there's a section right here that says my Artistly images. If I had imported it right, then I would just, pictures would be here. I would click on whichever picture I wanted, choose, and it'd be right there. Boom, create video, right? And that would be it. But while it's doing its thing, right? Okay, first video already completed, right? It says the generation of your AI video has been successfully completed, and I can go check that out. But as you can see, let me go back to the tool. Got the different variations right there. I could have changed that up. And then, you know, everything is there. I can create another video, change up the variations. We already got the pictures of Kai created now, right? So now I could just get the pictures of Kai and say, hey, now I want a close-up shot focusing on Kai's reflection, visor, and glowing cayenne circuit tattoo on his forearm. Okay, now we got scenes, we got variations and things that we can use to go towards our music videos or whatever it is that we're creating. That's the power of this tool. And I want to give it to you for free. I want to give you free access to being able to use this tool. And of course, you want to have a tool like Video Express or Artistly to really make the power of that tool work. Now, you can use whatever AI tool that you want, But I recommend these tools because they are the absolute best, and they're going to help you get through your complete journey. It's kind of like paying for that vacation once again. You pay that one time. It's kind of like you pay that one price for the whole trip, that bundle price for the trip. So you got your clothes, you got your travel to the airport, you got flight, you got the hotel, the resort, all in one package as compared to, you know, using those other tools that charge you monthly, that requires credits. Now you're thinking about a situation that would make you be a little skeptical and go back and forth, right? Now you got to think about, hey, I got to buy clothes. It's not included with the package. So now I got to buy clothes for the trip. Okay, now I got to buy gas for the trip. Now, the plane ride is going to cost me this, that, and the third. Okay, the hotel stay, now I got to think about that. Now, once when I get to the actual resort, now I got to pay for food on a daily basis, when instead you could have paid for the all-in-one package one time and have everything covered, right? So I would say here you get a choice. Do you want the one package, the Video Express package, where you can do the pictures and video, or do you just prefer to have the Artistly package where you can do just pictures, but it also allows you to do some other exclusive things that only Artistly allows you to do if you want to create storybooks and things like that, right? So you have a choice. So, pending, I want you to make a decision. Don't be indecisive. Make a clear decision. What is it that you want and that you need? If you want both, I want you to comment in the comment section both. If you want Video Express, comment video. If you want Artistly just for the pictures, then comment Artistly. And I'll share with you an exclusive link and an exclusive training for that. And if you decide that those are what you want to get, then I'll also give you some other exclusive bonuses, right? You'll get access to that tool, and you're gonna get some other things that you'll never find anywhere else. So I kept you waiting long enough, right? The video has been sitting there, so we're gonna look at both of them, see which one we prefer, right? All right, that one, 6 seconds. It did the zoom, right? Because we picked like a zoom in type of thing. So we got Kai. Let's play it again. You got the people in the back clapping. They excited. It looks like he about to put on a show. But you might say, okay, what's the next progression for Kai? Is he performing a show? Maybe he's a singer, a rapper. So what's the next thing you want him to do? He might actually have a microphone in his hand. He might be holding a microphone. You don't see it, right? You don't see the bottom of the screen of what's in his hand, but you might actually take and do a right click, save video frame, right? So that you can save this frame, the last frame of the video. And then what are you going to do with it? You're going to re-upload it to here, and you're going to continue with a new prompt. Now Kai is about to perform his hit song. He raises his microphone and he starts singing. Now you have something that you can continue on the flow and continue through the progression and make your video real. So if this has been your dream, make your dream a reality. I have a way that you can do that. You have a way now that you can live your dream in a fun and creative way. And then once when you know, get the competency, right? Learning how to do it, then you get the confidence. And then what can you do? You can use it to your benefit. You can share it with other people. And if you decide that you want to take advantage of the opportunity to build with me and to create with me, then I will also give you exclusive access to be able to promote this tool yourself, to be able to use all of the features, to be able to share it with whoever that you want to share with it, and be able to turn it into a fun and profitable online business. So if you're interested in that, then I want you to comment journey, journey, so that you can come with us in the Hustleverse on this journey. We are now entering the movie studio mindset where you can actually live your dream. So, with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live. I hope it's been very productive, inspiring, exciting, giving you something to really look forward to. Hopefully, you guys watch this on replay. If you missed any part of this presentation, I want you to watch it again. And once again, this isn't about, you know, what everybody else tries to tell you things is about. We didn't give you any fluff. We didn't hype things up. We showed you real scenarios. We gave you real information based off of news, real things that's really going on. I gave you a tool that you can actually use. And now I want to give you something else. I want to give you a visual to walk away with so that you can fully understand the power of what you now have access to. And it's not imaginary. It's not wishing and hoping for something. It's something that you can actually guarantee that you'll be able to use and create with it what you want to create. So with that, we're going to close out. We're going to do 2 songs, right? We're going to close out with our finisher like we always do. But I also want to, debut this new song right here from Hustle Bear. And I believe it's going to be featured on the volume 2 of the Welcome to the Hustleverse, album. So we still got volume 1 in the mix. That's the album of the year. But I'm working on volume 2, and this song right here is going to be featured on there. This is Hustle Bear, and it's called Something Is Wrong Here. Cinematic, it's a little darker. So I love horror. I'm a big fan of horror movies, and this right here show you guys a little bit of range. So see you in the next video, and make sure that you comment so that you can get access to all the things that you want to get access to.
Something ain't right. Hustle Bear in the shadows. Watching everything. Something is wrong here. You can feel it in the air. Everybody talk tough to the Hustle Bear appear. Cold eyes, dark nights built this from despair. Now they panic every time they hear the growl in the lair. Something is wrong here. Yeah, the system too fake. Everybody wearing smiles while they plotting for your place. No sleep, no peace, only hunger and rage. Hustle Bear break chains while the whole world trapped in cages. I was built in the darkness. Pressure made the claws sharp, but everybody switched sides when the money got larger. Yeah, now I move like a phantom. Heavy steps in abandoned buildings, cold heart from survival. Every scar became a million. I don't trust applause. I seen love turn venom, seen kings lose crowns, seen brothers turn jealous. Now it's tunnel vision, eyes locked on the mission. Everybody act alive, but inside they dead living. I hear whispers in the walls, hear fear in they breath. Whole city full of snakes, so I move with the tech. Black hoodie, heavy boots, rain dripping off the fur. Hustle Bear, don't talk much, I let the pressure make it hurt. something is wrong here. I can feel it in the air. Everybody talk tough to the hustle bear appear. Cold nights, dark nights, built this from despair. Now they panic every time they hear the growl in the lair. Something is wrong here. Yeah, the system too fake. Everybody wearing smiles while they plotting for your place. No sleep, no peace, only hunger and rage. Hustle bear, break chains while the whole world trapped in cages. I came from the bottom where survival was religion. Had to learn real fast, everybody got hidden intentions. Now the lights flash red, sirens echo through the city. Every move calculated, every victory got envy. This ain't rap, this warfare, this pain with percussion. It's the sound of a beast when the pressure keep crushing. Eyes bloodshot, mind racing, paranoia in motion. Still I keep the empire moving through the chaos and corrosion. I don't fear collapse. I was born inside ruins. Watch the weak fold quick. I adapted and grew it. Now they watch from the sidelines, wonder how I transform. But the darkest hearts survive every psychological storm. Some watching, some waiting. Truth hidden underneath. Everybody acting normal, but the danger running deep. Heartbeat, footsteps, static on the TV. Hustle bear coming, and the whole game gon' see me. Something is wrong. Yeah, I thrive in the chaos, turn pain into power. Now the darkness couldn't break us. Cold world, no love, only predators survive. Hustle bear still standing while the weak get left behind. Something is wrong here. Yeah, the fear too real. Everybody getting exposed when shadows get revealed. No chains, no gods, only hunger in my veins. Hustle bear, built different. I was forged inside the pain. Yeah, something wrong here. And I became it. Hustle bear.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's gain. That got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first, but in silence even whispers can quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. Till my PayPal pinged and they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spitting like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom, and I claim my name now. Hustle bear carry on loop like healing chants. For the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, it's a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type. Blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face. Every bar I drop, every beat I ride, I'm freeing the ones with the pain they hide. 10 minutes ain't much, but it changed my name. Turned struggle into strength and broke the gap.